These guys all have late first round to second round ADP. Starts off with Nico Collins, Yahoo ADP 10, Amon-Ra St. Brown 11th overall, Puka Nacua 12th overall, Malik Nabers 13th, Brian Thomas Jr. 16th, Drake London 20th, AJ Brown 21, and Ladd McConkey number 23. So Ray, that's how the ADP kind of groups it out there. I am very curious, who's the guy in this group that you think is actually a tier 1 receiver ahead of Justin Jefferson this year? I'm curious if it's the same guy as me.
All right, and we have not done any kind of pre-show prep, so my pick is totally my pick and solely my pick alone. But I am going to a year 2 wide receiver out of New York. Malik Nabers is the guy. For me, if I'm going to put somebody in that upper echelon, in that tier, and I know that a lot of people sit back and say it's just Russell Wilson, he is 100 times better than the quarterback room that was in New York last year. And you're talking about a rookie season with 155 targets, almost 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns, and 8 touchdowns. And they've done little to nothing to improve that wide receiver core. The thing that has improved is the quarterback play. When I'm looking at as far as usage amongst their team, there was no player in the NFL who was utilized more from a percentage basis on their offense than Malik Nabers as a rookie. This kid was trying to figure it out on the fly with Danny DeVito, with Daniel Jones, with just a misfit cast of quarterbacks. And now you do get a quarterback who's got tons of NFL experience. He's a former Super Bowl champ. Russell Wilson for Malik Nabers is going to do wonders. His opportunity in this offense, it's Malik Nabers and nobody else. And if they get more out of their ground game to help the play action out, the sky is the absolute limit for Malik Nabers. How he was utilized in this offense, my wide receiver 3 going into 2025.
I love it. It's a bold and yet not bold in a way, because he is talented enough to get there. There's no question about it. So last 2 seasons, Ray, the guys who have had 30% of their team's targets in 2023, it was Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and AJ Brown. Actually, if you go back to the 2022 season, some of the same names there. Devontae Adams again with the Raiders did it. Tyreek Hill did it with the Miami Dolphins. Malik Nabers did it last year. So in terms of like team target share, he's already in that like not just alpha range, but I don't know, whatever the super alpha tier is. And in addition to the role, like some of the stuff from a target perspective, he already got that kind of like role catering that I'm talking about in terms of the guys that were our elite players of the position, where they're not just out there running ISO routes. He only took 57.1% of the route side or snaps I charted him for on the line of scrimmage. The Giants did a ton of role catering for him, and this is a guy that could just go out there and run X receiver every single snap, but the team is smart, at least in this one thing, and they don't ask him to do it. So I think if he is going to make this jump, it does require Russell Wilson to last a lot of the season. I'm a little bit skeptical of that, but Russell Wilson, for all of his flaws last year, 72 yards per game on go routes and post routes. Ray, I bet you cannot like come up with 5 plays last year where Malik Nabers was getting the ball on go routes and post routes, because Danny Dimes cannot throw those anymore.
No.
Russ can at least still do that. So how confident are you, in order for him to make this jump into the elite tier, that he can that he can really, Russ can stay under center to maximize him over the course of the season?
I've got zero fear. He was number 1 in expected fantasy points per game at the position last year. Like, it's truly the slice of his pie. That's so important. When you're looking at this offense, he commands so much of it. If Russell Wilson is there for half the season and then they've got to go to Jackson Dart, it's going to Malik Nabers. And this is a team that defensively, they will put their offense in some better scoring positions because they should have a ferocious front 4. But I am confident enough in this offense, sans Daniel Jones, that between Russell Wilson and, if heaven forbid Jackson Dart has to play, that the ball is going to number 1, Malik Nabers. And if Malik Nabers is out there, there may not be a player in the NFL getting more of their offense than number 1. It's as simple as that. Number 1 in expected fantasy points per game last year, as a rookie figuring it out with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, overall, I have Malik Nabers ranked 11th. So I'm very much in on him as a first-round fantasy pick this year. Somebody that I would take over some of the names that are sort of ranked higher, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua. Certainly with Puka, it's the Matthew Stafford situation. He's in that immortal tube, whatever that thing is, at Rams practice. I would certainly bump Puka up if we knew Stafford was going to be available for week 1. But I mean, dude, you know how it is. Sometimes when you got a bad back, someday you just wake up and that thing's feeling worse. And like, who's to say week 8, week 9, that thing's feeling worse. So that's just where it is with Puka right now. But this is a really appealing tier overall. My guy in this tier that I think I think actually belongs in the next group up is Nico Collins, who I have wide receiver 4 overall. Nico Collins is an elite tier NFL receiver, an elite press man beater. He leads the NFL in yards per route run over the last 2 years. And he is someone, Ray, that unlike the guys, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Nabers, who we just talked about, this is a guy that does run out every snap and plays outside on the line of scrimmage. Like he just runs out at X receiver, the hardest, like most difficult routes, everything like that, the hardest position to play among the wideouts. And he's still the most efficient receiver on a per route basis over the last 2 years. So what if Nick Caley coming in here from that Sean McVay offense, the last few years where he's been there, he has more of a Patriots background, but he's spent the last few years with the Rams where they do so much to get Puka Nacua free. They did so much in terms of the big slot stuff with Cooper Kupp. Now, I don't think that Nico Collins is going to turn into a Cooper Kupp type player, but what if he, just like Jamar Chase last year, his routes in motion jacks up? He is a guy that takes, instead of fewer than 20, maybe like 35 to 40 snaps from the slot, more snaps off the line, again, in motion, because now they have Jaden Higgins, who I think probably should be like a flanker slot type, but he will take some X receiver snaps. If that's the case, Nico Collins tethered to a highly accurate quarterback who should bounce back with the better protection plan. I didn't say offensive line talent, better protection plan in front of him this year. I think wide receiver 1 overall is in the range of outcomes for Nico Collins. I have him ranked 7th this year among all positions.
Nico's right there, man. I mean, his high-end range of outcome, when I'm looking at our Trinity model, it's right there with Malik Nabers. High-end outcome, 23 points per game, because he's so efficient with what he gets. And then when you're looking at Houston's offense right now, love what Jaden Higgins can become down the line. Christian Kirk is really good in the slot. And right now, Joe Mixon is injured. It's CJ Stroud to Nico Collins. This is year 3 Stroud. He's probably got a lot to prove out there. Nico Collins wants his deal. He got a deal a few years ago. He wants to go out there and continue to perform and show well too. Like, this offense is going to flow through number 12. And he does all the good stuff you want in fantasy, Matt. Yeah. It's not cheap. It's not screen routes every play. He is going downfield, post, 9 routes, deep digs. He's moving the chains with every single reception. Nico, it could be the second quarter and he has 1 catch, and before you know it, boom, 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 he's got 72 yards and a touchdown, just all downfield work. And I just don't believe that the combination of Dalton Schultz, Jaden Higgins, or Christian Kirk are going to pull anything away from Nico Collins. There's no Diggs. There's no Tank Dell. It is all Nico Collins in 2025.
Yeah, he's just long, tall, strong, fast, 6'4", 220, every bit of it. I've stood next to him. That is a big human being. And he also might be the best route runner in terms of technique in the intermediate area of the field. It's insane. It's just an insane player.